Hello, gentle peoples of the internet. It is Wednesday, my dudes, which means it's time to find out what's hot and happening on Uncle Evetech's store. Now, traditionally, we only really have a look at the current specials tab, this little tab over here. But, I mean, there's a whole nother section in the store that doesn't get enough love, really. And seeing as the specials haven't really updated with anything that magical, there's a couple that I've actually slipped in here. What I'm going to be focusing on a lot today is on laptops and the specials and everything that come from the laptop section, because it's actually quite a lot of sick specials going on as we do sort of back to school now in January. But starting off with number 10, it's the Thrustmaster complete flight pack with rudder pedals, with a full throttle quadrant, the secondary one, because there's also one on the steering wheel over here at the bottom, and one of the best like flight sticks at the price. You get a full HOTA setup here for the price of really like what just a throttle quadrant would cost you if you bought something ultra premium. And it's not to say that this isn't. Thrustmaster makes like really good quality products. That's why they Thrustmaster, you know, they've been around, and this particular set does make the inner War Thunder player in me salivate somewhat, because like having that would be super sick. It's just obviously you're going to be able to turn tighter and do all the cooler things because you've got more control. And just look at the one thing that I have to say on this joystick especially is the trigger looks so cool, like on the front there with that orange accent and stuff. Like, is there a better picture of it? No, there isn't really. But yeah, if you look at the front of the joystick, like, well, the joystick itself is like one of the coolest looking joysticks I've pretty much ever seen. Okay, I'm done gushing now. At number 9, it's one of the first laptops, the HP 15S-EQ 2002 Ni. I know shame. I feel bad for both customer and brand having to deal with these weird product names. But specifically this one, because it's got that ultra low voltage Ryzen 6-core 12-thread, 16 gig RAM with a 512 gig SSD. Nice full HD screen. The integrated graphics now with the RDNA 2 stuff is actually pretty decent. It's basically a GT 1030 on board, which is going to be able to play like even CS and Dota on like min to medium settings at 60 frames per second. But the main thing here being the processing power that you get from this, with a little bit of that graphic performance. This is a really good like long-term laptop for a student or someone like that that's in a workflow environment. The 6-core 12-thread processor is going to eat things like Excel, etc. It'll have absolutely no problems with that. You've got 16 gig RAM, so there's enough headroom that you can run more than one of those applications at the same time, and then enough processing power and on the go battery life. I mean, up to 7 hours worth of battery life. Probably that's video playback time, so if you had to say working time, you're probably going to look at maybe even getting a little bit more than that. And it's got a battery fast charge option as well, which is pretty sick, about 50% in 45 minutes. So you can get 10 hours with a 45-minute charge. Like that's really promising. You also do get the Evetech Neo backpack included for free because Uncle Evetech Life. These are really nice. I actually have had like 3 of them so far. They've just tended to become things like my mom's laptop bag as an example, but there are others that you can look at. There's videos on each of them so you can see like the internals and stuff. There's a couple of nice little add-ons here for you, but this seems like it's just out of the box, like a pretty decent little working laptop. Coming in number 8, it's LG's new 24-inch 144Hz Ultra Gear. They've dropped a brand new spec and panel on us with some really nice little updates. One of them being that this is a true 1 millisecond IPS panel, which is going to be absolutely sick and very non-smeary. The VAs tend to smear a little bit, especially on the low end, so you're avoiding that because it's IPS, and also because it's IPS you're going to get a nice color gamut, so it sort of can also be used for some design function because you've got 99% of the sRGB coverage, frameless kind of design, but G-Sync compatibility, proper G-Sync controller. You can see here it's in proper NVIDIA G-Sync compatible, which is not a mean feat. Usually those G-Sync controllers are quite expensive, and something else I've updated is they've put this really cool Ultra Gear logo. The port layout and everything is basically the same as the 650 that I initially reviewed, so it's always been about like having a cheaper stand. This monitor doesn't have periscope neck and that sort of stuff, and more making it up with the panel specs, which they've just increased even further. At number 7, it's probably the best budget upgrade kit on the store right now with this little set. I would suggest you get the extra RAM, so that's going to give you some future proofing as it were, because I don't know if you've noticed, some of the manufacturers even recently are doing BIOS updates to allow 5000 series to work on the X370 platform. And Linus did a video on the ASRock X370 Pro 4, which was one of the first boards to get that BIOS, and the X370 was basically exactly the same performance as the X570, the only variance being access to PCI Express 4.0 and that sort of stuff, more for NVMe's, because they even tested with a 2080 Super and was basically the same. So now with this, you're probably going to be able to, well, I know you're going to be able to upgrade to 5000 series like when the 6000 series comes out. So the X470 minus PCI Express 4.0 for NVMe, that's literally the only thing you're throwing away as I say. There are extra PCIe lanes on X570 for more NVMe, but I think if you're buying a lot of NVMe, you know, you're buying more of a premium build anyway. For those of us that are budget conscious, that are happy with, you know, Gen 3 speeds at 3000 megs per second, I mean, it's still very fast. There's a full 3-year warranty. It's a brand new out of the box package for $8.5 grand. You can get it with the single DIMM. I would highly suggest you go dual channel though, because it's about a 15% performance difference. At number 6, disgustingly spec'd, somehow already on sale when it's brand new, GE77 Raider. Like, this thing is kind of disgusting, and it looks actually super sick. Like, I'm kind of like at a loss for words. I'm finding the eloquence of my tongue is not shooting this thing, because if you haven't seen what these 12700Hs can do, this thing is disgusting. It's literally on multi-threaded 40% at least faster than AMD's best right now on mobile. The Intel desktop chips might not have been quite what we were hoping for, but the laptop chips are mental, okay? Absolutely mental. Then there's the 3070 Ti as well, because reasons, and like, just as you go down, the spec is just disgusting. It's okay, this is a 16 gig RAM spec. I don't see a respec over here, which is odd, but I'm sure you'll be able to increase your RAM. Just check with the guys if you do want. I would say 32 gig dual channel is probably going to be the way to go with this. That's literally the only thing I'd change. Comes with the, you heard it right, 360 hertz panel as well. Look, this thing is disgusting, dude. For 55k, you're literally putting a server into your pocket with graphic performance, and then it looks like that. Papa MSI sponsor! Breaking into the top half at number 5 though, it's actually one that I spec for a mate. This literal to this exact spec build, okay? I've just helped him with an order on this because 5800H, 8-core 16 thread, good time, very strong processor. Basically that with 60 watts thumps at 2700X, imagine. 32 gigs of RAM with a 2 TB ultra fast NVMe. I'm actually testing the Intel NVMe's that these come with, and they do more than 3000 read as well, so super sick on that. 120Hz for refresh rate panel. The IPS on these is a little bit dull, is one thing I will say. With the G15, the review for that will be out tomorrow, so do watch out for that. It's got really good killer LAN, much better than the old killer LAN, a 3066 gig, so you'll be able to play anything on 1080p, absolutely no problems. Even this 3050 runs games on like medium to high on like for 1080p, which is disgusting for a laptop these days on a 3050, you know, on a 50 series GPU. This on a 60 series GPU is kind of touched. Comes with the air links as well, and then you obviously get the backpack, so it's like a really nice little like package that you're getting with it. 3-year warranty from Dell, plus first performance on this is astronomically good. Coming in just ahead of that number 4, it's one of the best upgrade kits in the store in this B550 Plus, sporting Ryzen 5 5600X. This is the latest of both of the platforms right now for 10k with 16 gig RAM. Like, it's a pretty good deal, just on the face of things based on the price point. But I'd once again just get that dual channel, guys. It's like a massive performance increase. And what's the price difference? It's 1,600 rand to do that. When you're already spending 10k, rather just save that little bit extra or do it the next month if you have to get it now. It does say for this it is going to be a 2x8 gig kit, which is really good. Just double check with the lads on that. If it is a 2x8 gig kit, then don't worry about that. The 16 with this will be more than enough, and you will not bottleneck. Throw a 3080 on here, you'll be good to go. At number 3, it's the Dell G15 that I'm basically reviewing tomorrow. Almost identical spec. The only thing is I put a 512 SSD because I wasn't going to test every AAA game on a 4 gig graphics card. That's about its only drawback, is the 4 gig does run out of video memory if you try to pump like ultra high textures and stuff. But I was literally playing Need for Speed heat with everything on max except for the high textures, and it was running at 70-80 frames per second. On that panel, it looks fantastic. I was standing there, I was like, this is now a console replacement. Yes, a console costs 13-14k, but then it only plays games. You can play games on a kind of similar level, and then it's still a full laptop. It's got a monitor, it's got a processor, it can still do Word and Excel and render, and the 5600H is monstrously good. It's almost as good as a 1700X, so it's basically an 8-core 16-thread first gen processor that now runs on 60 watts inside a laptop. Like the processor gains and stuff at the moment are disgusting, and at the price point right now, until Intel releases something in that range, it's basically uncontested. And number 2, it's my pick of all of the upgrade kits, pretty much is going to be the setup over here, because once again they are doing the 2x8 gig at 3600 Z590 plus board, so you've got some upgradability. I mean, this thing, if I'm not mistaken, should have 14 plus 2. Okay, so even if you wanted to, you know, do an 11900K on there, no problems. They do not draw enough current to offset a 14 plus 2. You can even do the handy overclocking. Just look at the board, just look at how nice it is with the heat sinks and stuff. I'm loving Tough right now. Tough is like, it's the place to buy, honestly. That's this is the price versus performance king for me in a lot of areas. 11400F, I love this chip. I absolutely love this chip. You can put a stock cooler on it and it won't go over 70 degrees. It runs super well. It's like a 8700K, but like that actually keeps itself cool, which is really nice. Then the RAM as well, these 3600 CL18s. If you haven't seen my piece on Ryzen and RAM, go have a look at it and see how well they actually perform. They're basically in line with all of their competitors, less money, because look at that price, 7,300 Rand. The processor alone is 3k. If you throw in the 3k for the board, you're basically buying that RAM for 1,300 Rand for a 2x8 gig 3600 CL18. You can see why I'm like, I looked at this and I was like, oh, that's insane. And finally, in the number 1 spot, it's this VivoBook 14X. The price and performance here is really insanely good. 3-year warranty, and then it comes in like a really nice understated chassis. This is like the crossover, you know, work/business king right now. There's nothing even competitive at this price point. And you know, let me just go through the specs so you can see what I'm talking about. 5600H with 6-core 12-thread, which we've just discussed, with 16 gig RAM and 512 gig NVMe. Pretty good, right? Look at the monitor. It's a 2.8K effective 90 Hz IPS display powered by that 3054 gig. So for gaming on that resolution and stuff, you're going to probably want to run it at 1080p, right? To, you know, give that graphics card a little relief on its 4 gig VRAM. But to like have it as a design platform, something on the go / in a workspace, like our sister company is a digital marketing agency. They have about 10 part-time employees, and we have 6 laptops of this spec and paid way more money for these than, well, what these are. And those don't only have 1080p monitors. They don't have these nice 2.8Ks. So it's like a gaming / work environment. This right now is the best price versus performance, warranty, everything that I could see across the store. This is the deal you want to snatch up right now. 17.5 for something spec like this. Kind of mental. Anyway, that's all I have for you this week. I do have the new MSI GE76S. I think it is Stealth. I've actually got the box next to me. Let me just triple check what it is before I punch myself in the face. It's the GS66. I was correct. The Stealth with the 12th gen goodness. So you're going to be able to test it out. If you haven't already seen the performance results and stuff from these chips, the mobile stuff is semi-disgusting. So I'm going to be playing with that over the next week, and I hope to get that ready for you guys by the end of next week. We'll see. I want to do full benchmarking for games and everything on it, you know, to give like the full perspective of that. Dell G15 review will be out tomorrow, and then on Friday I've actually been reviewing this here monster watch. It's been on my wrist now solidly for about a week, so I'm getting ready to finish up that review for you on Friday. So that's what's coming up for the rest of the week. I hope you guys stay safe, keep well. Good luck with load shedding. I'm on a grid with a water treatment plant because it's a gas com. Anyway, Hope you've enjoyed it. Like and subscribe. Appreciate everything. Hope to see you on the flip side. Stay safe. Keep well. Bye 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 bye. At number two,